Hello, my beloved Biology 12 class. It's great to see you, as I usually say whenever we get together. Um, Looks like the Department of Ed is sort of finally moving on something for us teachers to get in touch with you guys and to get some things rolling. I thought I would put together a quick little video. No time like the present to figure this stuff out. Put a little video together to kind of get us moving. Let you know what I'm up to, what I've been up to, what I'm going to be up to, what the next, I don't know, few months of our course looks like. I've got notes, as you can tell. These are just the cue cards. I actually have like scripted notes, like I'm a first-year teacher or something. Anyway, so first of all, I hope you're well. I hope you're healthy. I hope you're finding some positive in all of this. I hope that things have been somewhat relaxing, and yeah, I hope that you're able to find a little positive in a pretty interesting situation. I've been well. I've been healthy. I haven't gotten sick. My wife, Selena, and I have been self-isolating here at home for a long time. On a personal note, my mom got back from Florida, which I'm pretty happy about. She's a snowbird, and so she got back. She's going to be finishing her self-isolation on Sunday, so that's good. So school-wise, where are we at? Just as you can tell, I'm going to go through my list of notes here. You should have heard from your homeroom teacher by now. Us homeroom teachers, we were asked to get in touch with families to ask three important questions. One, do you have a device? If so, what kind of device or devices do you have? Do you have reliable high-speed internet? And do you have access to necessary materials like pens and paper? If you haven't gotten that communication from your homeroom teacher, get your parents to check their email, the email that they have on PowerSchool, and maybe send, call the school, 541-8200, and you can leave a voicemail there and just answer those three questions. What are your devices? Do you have the internet? Do you have necessary supplies? And you can leave a message there and get you checked off the list. Hopefully you've all heard from your homeroom teachers anyway. I've got to all 16 of mine. So the department, as you probably have heard, Department of Education's released what they're calling a continuity plan or continuity of learning plan. And that's a fairly long document, and I read it yesterday for the first time, and a few of us science teachers were talking, and it's going to take a few reads before we fully understand everything that's there. Science teachers are planning on meeting tomorrow by Hangout or like Google Hangout or Zoom or something like that, and we're going to just kind of pool our heads together and go through that document and come, share strategies and blah, blah, blah. The Coles Notes version is between now and April 6th, we are to be doing review with you, nothing more than review. So we're just looking at reviewing outcomes that I've already taught. And the 6th and 7th are supposedly planning days for teachers, I think, where we're going to be planning new lessons on new material. So as of April 8th, you can think of April 8th as the day where we continue our course. Having said that, I'll be planning for April 8th between now and then. Again, a salient fact from that continuity plan, 3 hours of work per course per week. So you can expect 3 hours, I guess, of Biology 12 work per week until we get back to classes, if we get back to classes. So if you are someone who has 3 classes at Parkview, then that sounds like you've got 9 hours of schoolwork every week. Really important to realize that what we're going to try to do over the next while is we're not going to be recreating what we do in class. Fairly impossible to do that given the circumstances. Things are going to be quite different. You've probably heard that there are no exams this year, so exams are right off of the table. I would imagine until we get back to school, if we get back to school, I would imagine that tests are not a thing anymore. So everything is going to be assignment and project based. My vision for this is that I will either create a video or like a screencast like this, or I will use a video that I grab off the internet to introduce some material, and then I'll come up with some kind of assignment, some kind of project for you to do, and to get turned in. This is obviously going to be housed in Moodle, so if you're having access problems with Moodle, then you should definitely reach out to me. My email address is right there on the screen, seno@gnezpez.ca. So shoot me an email, and I'll see what I can do to get you access. Just quickly, I would remind everybody that try to log into Moodle the same way every time. So if you use your username, and then sometimes you include the @gnezpez.ca after your username, and sometimes you don't. I don't know. If you log in and you don't see Biology 12, then try logging in the other way. If you had gnezpez.ca and in the username, take it out, and vice versa. Anyway, long story short, if you're having access issues, flip me an email, and I'd be happy to look into that for you. Speaking of Moodle, I've started a COVID-19 closure section here for us. You'll remember Moodle. We were in Reproduction and Development 3. We had watched The Great Sperm Race. We did the intro. We've gone through the anatomy, got through spermatogenesis. We did a lot of this embryonic development stuff, pregnancy, and we'd gotten down, to about there. So moving forward for you guys, I'm going to try to put things in this COVID-19 closure section, for want of a better term. So hopefully you'll be able to just follow along with me in this section. Said that, no exams, marks to date. So again, under that heading of not recreating what happens normally at school, your marks to date will count. So all the marks that I've had in PowerSchool up to March break, that's all going to count on your record. In that continuity plan, they were talking about, they're not sure if they are going to want us to issue a typical percentage mark, or if it's going to, at the end of this whole thing, if it'll end up being a pass-fail. I think that's probably going to be based on how things go, but that's a decision that they're going to make at a later date. Having said that, whatever you guys turn into me, I'll be marking and giving an evaluation, and collecting marks in PowerSchool as per usual. You'll be able to see a percentage grade as we move forward, and then whether or not that percentage grade is something that goes on your record, or if it ends up just being pass or fail, it won't be fail. There you go. The continuity plan asks us to maintain office hours 5 days a week, at least 1 hour a day. So that's one of the things that we're going to talk about as a group of science teachers tomorrow. We met, Mr. Mason and Ms. McKinnon and I met yesterday on a Google Hangout, and so we might use Google Hangouts, we might use Zoom for this, but I think Zoom, if you have used Zoom, it is now going to allow us to have like a waiting room or something, so it may be possible to address the whole group, like a whole group of you in Zoom, but also then to have you in like some kind of waiting room so I can deal with you one-on-one, if that is more what we need to do. I don't know. I haven't decided how we're going to go with that yet. Hangouts is right there on the gnezpez.ca launchpad. You all have access to it, so it makes sense maybe to use that. I think Zoom might have some better functionality. I don't really know. Stay tuned. I imagine there's a lot of anxiety from the grads and from the grade 11s in the class. So I just want to say this very, very clearly, that people are going to graduate on schedule. So if you're going to graduate this year, great. If you're going to graduate next year, great. You're going to graduate on schedule, as far as I can tell. I says there, I'm fully in your corner. I wanted to express that you've probably had some anxiety around graduation, around education, around your future, and I think you would know me as someone philosophically who's pretty into education, and you know, these are obviously very interesting times, but I'm incredibly stoked to have an opportunity to help you all out through a very interesting, maybe difficult time. I'm really, really excited about that, and I want you to put your worries and fears to rest. Things are going to start here really, really shortly, and we are going to keep our schedule, our end of June graduation schedule. So don't sweat it. Also, post-secondary educational institutions, they all have the memo. They know that this school year is a bit weird. So again, to the grads that are applying now, the Department of Education is in close communication with post-secondary institutions, and I really don't believe that your acceptance is going to be impacted by, you know, this pandemic. So, you know, try to stay in the present. Try to work hard for me. Work hard on whatever it is that we're working on at a given moment, and that all that long-term stuff, like with courses and with your teachers, moment to moment to moment. We'll eventually get that moment in June where, again, it's done, it's over, and I really know that that'll involve graduation or promotion to grade 12 for the 11s. So I can hear the collective groan in the room, so to speak. Up until April 8th, we're supposed to review outcomes I've already taught, and I introduced the Journey of the Sperm project or assignment before the break, and all of the outcomes that are required for that complete project have been taught. So, and it's a project, it's actually like it's a perfect sort of piece of review material for you to work on between now and when we get started. So I'm just going to flip into Moodle here again to this COVID-19 closure section. I put this up for you, Project Journey of the Sperm. So there's a link to the instructions of the rubric if you can't find yours in your binder. This is a link to the notes that we've already gone over in class. Those are the notes that they really lay that whole project out quite a bit. I'd like to get you to try to respect an April 7th end of day deadline for this. Obviously, deadline's going to be flexible. Don't sweat it. The only reason I bring a deadline up is it's just easier on my end. I get everything collected, I get everything marked, I get everything handed back to you guys in a timely kind of way. If they're coming in all willy-nilly all the time, then it's hard to manage that. So on or before, if you get this thing done, you've been bored for 3 weeks and you're thinking, finally, I get to do some schoolwork, sit down, get your Journey of the Sperm project done, and you can hand it in early, although I haven't set up anything on Moodle for you yet to get handed in, but I will. It may be easier for you to do this on Google Slides or something like that. You can do that. Typically, people do it on paper. You might be able to be more creative if you're doing it like artistically on paper, and that'll be fine. That'll be maybe even better. And we'll get you to take pictures and upload JPEGs or something of your project, and we'll be able to mark it against the rubric that way. So yeah, Journey of the Sperm. If you haven't already done it, you can move in on that for April 7th, which is Tuesday, I think. Now, if you had a grown the Journey of the Sperm assignment, maybe you'll take this as good news that we can ask in the continuity plan to prioritize outcomes, knowing that we're not going to be able to complete the whole curriculum in the course. So I'm going to say that we've done our reproduction unit, and we're going to move on very, very quickly. The only thing that I want to make sure that I hit before going on to genetic continuity is hormone control in both males and females. So we're going to do that, and I think we can do something fairly quickly on infertility, and I think it would be pretty good to of STIs and contraception. I usually do, as you know, a little bit finger wagging. So let me just say this about STIs. Don't get them. I'm told that they're pretty nasty, pretty gross, pretty tough to deal with. So try to avoid that. Outcome done, check. And methods of contraception. There are barrier methods, there are chemical drug methods, there are all kinds of methods for that. I'm going to prioritize the genetic outcomes and we'll move on. Having said all that, the notes are all in Moodle down under Reproduction Development 3. If you want to have a read through any of those PowerPoints, you definitely can. I'll finish off by saying that I haven't been shy about telling you that this is the best school year of my career. So I'm chapped, as it says in my notes, that I don't get to spend more time with you guys on a daily basis. It's been the best school year of my career, both semesters, first and second. I have students. I'm going to just highlight all of this down here, and I'm going to read it to you. My students are polite, nice, friendly, easy to get along with, awesome, hard workers, open to help, and they're always trying their best. And it's made for a really, really good semester for me. Although I'm upset that we don't get to see one another 5 days a week and work together face-to-face and in person, I'm pretty excited to be somebody who's in your corner that's going to help you through just an interesting time. And for the grads, to get you to a point where you get to say, yep, done public school, did that, it's over, welcome to the club, I graduated high school. So I'm pretty excited for that. Anyway, assuming I get this video compressed and uploaded to YouTube and LinkedIn, Moodle, you'll see it later today. Stay tuned, work on your journey of the sperm, shoot me an email if you are having Moodle access issues. Talk to you soon.